This is Handy Tips, and today we are gonna be making gluten-free bread. We can use all kind of gluten-free flour, but I prefer that we use all-purpose gluten-free flour for making bread. Oops. I like to put half of the package into a bowl. I know that this amount works for me best, and we need 1 egg, a little bit of olive oil, approximately 1 tablespoon. Honestly, I never measure it. I kind of make an eye measurements. I don't know if you say it that way. 1 teaspoon of sugar. I use light brown sugar. That's because that's what I have, and it works great. Approximately 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, I never measure, I kind of eyeball it. And fast rising instant yeast. This is the quickest, easiest way to make gluten-free bread, in my opinion, and also it's cheaper than to buy it from the store. A little bit of baking powder. It's also gluten-free, and I like to use baking powder that doesn't have aluminum ingredients in it. Aluminum something. So just make sure it doesn't have any aluminum. But it's totally up to you. I kind of eyeball it, making it a half a teaspoon. This is my preference. This is my recipe, which works for me, and it tastes really good. But it's totally up to you if you want to use baking powder or not. Once we have all the ingredients, I use a fork to mix it. I find it very easy to do it. And we're going to need a room temperature water into it, just maybe half, and I start mixing it. I use fork. It works really well. You don't need special machines or equipment or bread making machines or mixers. It's all unnecessary and takes extra time to clean, store it, and stuff like that. I like to make my mix a little bit soupier than a traditional way. It's because gluten-free flour doesn't have any gluten in it. So I mix it really well. I mix it well, and I make it a little bit soupier, because like I said, it doesn't have any gluten in it. And if you make it the same consistency as a regular flour, I don't think it's gonna come out nice when you bake it. This looks probably like the same consistency as you make pancakes. Our mix is completed. And I'm going to use a plastic cling wrap to cover it. I cover it kind of loosely. And I let it sit in a warm location for approximately 2 hours. Okay, well, our mixture dough, you can't really call it dough because there is no flour, real flour, but after 2 hours it doubled in size, and we are gonna use these trays for baking. Make sure they are greased. I used coconut oil, but you can use whatever oil you want. Very gently, because it's very delicate. Very gently we're gonna put it into our baking container. I also would like to make a few muffins, so I'm gonna use these trays to make muffins, gluten-free muffins. It took me a lot of experimenting and learning and researching, but it definitely works for me, and hopefully for you as well. Very gently, because it's kind of very tender mixture. In the meantime, we are gonna turn our oven for bake for 400 degrees, and we're going to put this on the stove. This is a really nice and warm location, and let it rise a little bit more while the stove is reaching our desired temperature of 400 degrees. Our oven is hot, and I'm putting these babies into the oven for 30 minutes. Well, our baking is done. We just pulled it out of the oven, and we're gonna let it rest for a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.